All right, welcome everyone out there. This is BS3 Radio Live. We got a special show tonight. We have none other than my sister, Kamilyah Sudderth, founder of Awaken Our Youth. We will be talking about that tonight. But first off, how you doing?
I'm a bit crazy. Like I just finished like doing my makeup. I was like, let me get there as early as possible. So sorry that we're late, everybody.
That's okay. That's okay. They if they know me, they know most of the time I'm late, so it's fine.
Oh wow. All right. Well, and if they know me, I'm also late.
People will definitely be prepared and ready. So great to get you on this first time, and glad we were able to make this happen. But first off, just talk about you. Talk about your background to the viewers and listeners that don't know about you.
Sure. So I'm Camellia. I am Trey's sister, Benjamin. I have been an educator for about 9 years. I started off in Baltimore, and then I recently, well, not recently, I guess it's been like 6 years, came to Atlanta to start teaching again. I'm a alumna of the illustrious Spelman College, so I had to come back to Atlanta and teach in Atlanta. So it's been a journey in education, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of learning experiences, a lot of great partnerships and relationships with my colleagues and my principals. But I had to branch out and I wanted to try something that has really been on my heart that I think will make a great impact in the education space. So that's how Awaken Our Youth came to be.
Awesome, awesome. And those of you that are tuning in, if we have time, we can get to some questions that you guys may have. But I know that you've had, a deep desire and passion for the youth and for educating kids. I mean, obviously, like you said, with your background. But what made you want to start Awaken Our Youth? What was it inside of you that really pushed you into that direction?
Yeah. So, as a classroom teacher, mainly in Title I schools, a lot of our work is with children that may not have had the best pre-K program or even the best K through second grade experience. So I'm used to teaching upper grades. My youngest has been third grade, and that was only for a short period of time. The majority of my experience has been fifth grade and middle school. And so what I realized is that a lot of them were not coming with the foundational skills that were necessary. And so that may or may not have impacted their ability to be successful in my class. And then more importantly, they were kind of ostracized or placed into like special services to make sure that they're able to bring up their reading level or their math level, whatever the case may be. And my struggle was trying to balance like understanding we need to accelerate them, but also realizing that there was a genius inside of them that was being untapped and not developed. Instead of us constantly hounding reading and math and social studies and science, there were parts of them that were not being developed. And I think if that would be developed, then the rest of them could flourish and could really hone in and be interested in school. And so there was only so much I could do in my class. There is only so much I can do in my class. So Awaken Our Youth is really about reaching beyond the classroom, beyond the school building to meet kids where they are. Because there's so many limitations in the school building, and there's so many Black and Brown children that need to be pushed more, and not push more to pass a test, but to push more to be more for their community.
Yeah, and that's a great point because I'm here in Dallas, and taking the test is the most important part of the school year. Almost, we have the
It
STAR
is.
test here, and it's more so them being taught to pass a test than them actually
Mhm.
being given life skills or things that they can use outside of the four walls of school.
Yeah.
So it's very impactful, and definitely in Black and Brown communities, which is it's scary to just see the level of education that they're receiving compared to if they paid for education somewhere, or compared
Hmm.
to if they had money to be able to pay, for a better education.
Yeah, private schools definitely have more opportunities, more access to extracurriculars and coding class, like more enrichment opportunities. And they are starting to trickle into Title I, so there's no shade to regular public schools. Like there's a lot of great public schools and great principals that are doing the work of making those partnerships, but it's not across the board. It's very much certain schools receive extra funding, extra initiatives, and there are certain schools that don't. And so Awaken Our Youth is really to approach and reach the kids that are not getting those extra support.
Awesome. So Awaken Our Youth, as you guys can see, there's a logo behind me. You can also see the graphic in the corner. But, talk about this way. Oh,
it's this way. There you go. Yeah.
But talk about the mission. What's the mission of it, and what's your ultimate goal of what you want to do with Awaken Our Youth?
Yeah, so the mission is awakening the genius that is already inside of our youth. And recently I added also inside of their Black educators, because not to get too deep into public education, but there's a lot going on, especially with COVID and distance learning and things that are happening and shifting in education every day. Educators are drained, they're tired, they're overwhelmed, especially if they're veteran teachers who were used to just whiteboard, maybe smartboard. Having to turn everything into digital platforms is a lot, and especially when you're dealing with COVID on top of that and the fear of getting COVID. So anyways, I say all that to say, Awaken Our Youth mission is to definitely support children first, but we can't support children unless we also support their teachers, because their teachers are there to pour into them and impact them. So the mission on the ground level is to really train teachers on gifted-based curriculum. So that's curriculum that is project-based, that is inquiry-based, but also guided by the standards. And that type of instruction will really empower teachers to want to teach, because there's also this teacher, there's a lot of disconnect in school buildings. We'll just say that. I don't want to give too much away. We'll just say there's a disconnect. And teachers need to have curriculum that they feel is beneficial to children. And so I am a writer of curriculum first. That is my passion, to write curriculum. Secondly, is to impact teachers. So I would like to do or continue to do a radical self-care for teachers to make sure they're straight mentally, physically, emotionally, so they can better impact children. The bigger scheme of things, not to give my whole vision away, is to have a storefront similar to how Kumon does. We're from California, for those who are joining in. And in California, there's a very diverse population of Pacific Islanders, Asians, and they often have like a school that they go to on the weekends. And I think that was really beneficial, that I noticed in high school with a lot of my Asian friends getting really high scores on the SAT and like blowing it out the water.
Right,
and I'm
exactly.
like, how y'all like getting perfect scores, and like whole time we're like barely making the scores that are necessary. And that's because their parents did the work and made sure that they had extra practice like on the weekends. So I want that space to be available for Black children in the Black community, and not make it no necessarily remediation, but to really awaken like their 21st century skills, so they can start businesses and be entrepreneurs and help uplift their community, uplift their family. So that's the bigger vision. But on a smaller scale, we just trying to change the classroom a little bit and help teachers feel supported.
Right. And you I really like what you said, talking about businesses and entrepreneurship, because we did both grow up in California, obviously. I went to Morehouse, you went to Spelman, we both went to public school, but I can't really recall being taught how to start a business or being taught how to make a business plan. I was taught that when I got to college, but I wasn't taught that when in high school. So if you think you can teach a kid, my daughter is 8, if you can teach a kid at 8 to form a business plan and to figure out how to structure a business, in their mindset and level, it would be powerful. I mean, what they can do by the time they're 18 years old, they have a full-fledged business that they're running.
Yeah.
So as we're talking, we got some comments here. I don't know if you can see those. We have
Hey,
Danielle Frederick.
what's up,
Private schools.
sis?
Private schools have more access, but can be whitewashed as well. We got some family over on the YouTube side. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can always watch these afterwards as well. I think that's our parents. Hey fam, great interview and information. Daniel Frederick again. Tanya Bow. We definitely need culturally responsive curriculums. True.
Yep, straight
Very
up.
true. And there was a documentary that I seen, which was kind of blew me away. It was on, I think it was on Amazon or one of those channels, but it was talking about an oratorical contest with kids. It was based out of Oakland. And one of the teachers said the only thing that we can teach, or the only thing that the kids or we're allowed to teach them, is about Martin Luther King. But there's so much to Black history besides Martin Luther King. They all got up and they did their Martin Luther King. It was an oratorical contest, but it kind of blew me away just how far away we're from, honestly, like the real history of what really happened and how we can move forward. And also I wanted to kind of touch on, I know you're an activist as well, I would say. I don't know if you would call yourself that as well, but what would you say to Black Power? What would you say to to people and kids and educators, what they can do to help kind of bridge that gap, kind of what you were talking about?
I'm an activist. Like that's straight. Like high school was super big on just making sense of police brutality and making sense of just being a Black girl in Cali and like what that means in terms of the classes I took and this and that. But ultimately, we have to first start at the ground level, which is racism exists. Like that's a fact. And in addition, there's a lot of microaggressions that happen in schools that really impact Black children, especially not especially, because it impacts Black girls and boys equally. But the biggest thing is being able to, like I said, see the brilliance in Black children, like period. Because if you don't have that passion to understand like where they come from, like starting in the motherland, not even talking about the Middle Passage or slavery or the civil rights or Reconstruction, like we're talking about like they derived from the beginning of time, like going back to Wakanda, like they're from rich soil.
Right. Kings and queens.
Yeah. And even beyond that, like they're just from rich soil. They are the creators of anything. Anything that was created always or only came from Africa, because that's the first place of origin of people of origin. People's origin came from Africa. So we have to first recognize their brilliance and where that melanin comes from, and understanding that brilliance did not just fade away, or here's the big kicker, it's not selective. It wasn't just MLK who got the brilliance and Malcolm X and Ida B. Wells and Angela Davis. Like everybody has the brilliance, but the issue is we don't see the nuances or the little pieces of brilliance because we're so focused on glossing over and looking at like the high achieving Black children, the kids that are gifted. But every Black child has brilliance in them. And so that is a mindset that has to shift in Black schools and in predominantly white schools, to be honest. And once that mindset shifts, then they're able to see little Angela Davises in their class. They're able to see little Marion Wright Edelmans in their class. They're able to see little pieces of Black history, and then be able to pull that out of them so that they know, like, just like this person struggled and you may have this going on in your life, you can still be something great. And I recognize that in you.
Right. And that's powerful to be able to tell your child that there is genius in you. To me, that ignites something. That ignites something, and that gives them that encouragement to think outside of the box, or think what I can do, what ideas do I have, what talents do I have that I can utilize those. So it is
Mhm.
very important, and especially for kids, and especially now. And if you want to touch on that, being right now in COVID, like how important is it? I think not just for parents to tell their kids, but as a community to like tell kids
Mhm.
that you're a genius. You have something
Yeah.
inside of you that is different than other people.
So I think the first thing is definitely telling them, like with my crew, I definitely pour into them how smart they are. We do little small stuff like kiss your brain, which I know all the kindergarten teachers already know what that means. And then we also do little chants like, I love myself, I'm proud of myself, I believe in myself, I'm a genius. Like all of that, like mantra is definitely important because it's important for adults, like to do mantras or to pray and to have faith and to really believe in yourself. That's important to instill into children. But then on a more concrete instructional level, giving them work that empowers that genius, giving them classwork that empowers that genius, giving them homework that empowers that genius, and not just things that are going to kind of pass time, but giving them a chance to shine. And that's one thing that I really love about project-based learning is you're able to really see the creativity and critical thinking in a child. And that is more transferable to skills that are necessary for work, necessary for college, than things that are more easy to give them little bits of joy, like, yeah, I did that right, I got an A. But did you think critically? Did you have to think creatively? Those are the things that really let their genius shine and let them believe that they have it in them because they're having to do something that's tapping into that.
Right, right, true. And crew love. Make sure I say that. Shout out to the crew,
Yay! Gang, gang.
Prince, Philip, Camden, Kellyanne. I love my nieces and nephews,
Yeah.
and it's it's really important, obviously, with kids, period, because I mean, as corny as it is, as much as we've heard it, they are the future. But
Hmm.
honestly, they're now and the future. So what they're doing
Yeah.
now is also impactful because I've seen so many kids. Which let's talk about the merch. I've seen so many kids that are opening businesses that are doing great things, and you have
Hmm.
shirts that has names of kids that are
Yeah.
doing great things in different avenues. So talk about
Yeah.
the merchandise and just how that creativity of the merchandise came about.
Yeah. So first of all, shout out to, I don't think he's watching, but one of my students that inspired that particular T-shirt, "The Young Geniuses in Black History," is Makai Samuels Page. He was my student 2 years ago. He's currently in seventh grade, and when I was teaching him, I'm about to cry because I saw so much in him that it didn't matter how much activity he had going on, it didn't matter how busy he was just at the end of class. There was so much genius in him by little things that he did. And so he actually came up with an anti-bully backpack recently. He's been singing on Michael Strahan's show with Kiki Palmer. He's done several different kind of shows to promote his backpack. And then he also has done different things with ABC. He's just been all over. And so I was really grateful that I was able to have that opportunity to work with him. And so he kind of inspired that shirt. But in addition to him, there's geniuses in film. There's geniuses that come up with bow ties. The girl that came up with the lemonade that was on Shark Tank is on that shirt. They're just really, really smart kids. One of the boys, Bishop Curry, is on that shirt, who actually came up with I think he's in Texas, came up with a solution for children that are in hot cars. Like all those kids that may be super young, not even in high school, are coming up with really good ideas. And so essentially, I wanted shirts, hoodies, sweaters to represent Black genius and Black brilliance. And so that is the Black Geniuses in History shirt. I have a Black Educators in History because Black educators don't get enough shine. We don't get enough love for real. And my grandmother was a Black educator that opened up her own school, which is dope. And like, I really admire the fact that she's living in a time when there's segregation and racism, but it's crazy. I guess more outward. And she was able to come up with a school and really be able to impact young Black children in her community. And so I wanted to have a Black educator shirt. The also person on there is Mary McLeod Bethune, which is my shero, who created Bethune Cookman and then also Fanny Coppin, who created Coppin University. I live in Baltimore, so I had to represent for Coppin. But it's just amazing how there are educators that we don't know about, especially Black women, that have made a great impact in Black education. And then recently, my favorite, which I'm really, really excited about, I woke up in the middle of the night with this idea, was melanin over everything is really important to me, because a lot of the times, especially with Black girls, the color of our skin is very much a part of how we see the world and how we view ourselves. And so I wanted to come up with something that would empower Black women to love their skin color, love their melanin, whatever shade of melanin it is. So all of the merchandise is just about empowerment.
Awesome. And you can see the link. It's in the comments. Also, there is a free promo code, free shipping. So let me go ahead and put that below right now. Where is it? There we go. Free shipping. BS3 Radio.
Okay.
All together. Okay. Yeah, I'm working this thing.
You are. Go, bro. This is my bro in real life. I'm so proud of you, dude. Like, that's dope.
Yeah, I'm glad to get you on to talk about it. We have Tanya Bowe says, yes, Black educators. There would be no them without us. Let me put that comment below so everybody can see that. And it's, just the amount of work that educators have to go through, period. I mean, to come in, teach kids, some that want to learn, some that don't want to learn, to be able to deal with the parents, to be able to teach them constructively, but also I see you smiling, but
my parents are awesome.
Shout out to Lauren. She says, "Hey, Baltimore."
Hey.
So yeah, they don't get a lot of love, and especially Black educators, just because there's a lot, and now it's even more. It's either flipped or they're in school and they're having to figure out how to navigate, around that. There's a lot of interesting aspects to school right now. School is just not regular school.
No, there is a lot, and I think Black educators are putting in the work and not getting enough credit. Period. And that's just Black people in general. Like, we do stuff and other people steal it, cultural appropriation, and then make money off of it, and then we're just here. So I'm all about uplifting Black educators and the genius that's inside of us, because a lot of the ideas came from our classrooms, and so that's important to highlight to me.
Right. And also, I just wanted to piggyback off of something you said, is that there's so many inventors that are out there that we may not know. Inventors out there that have invented something, and they're right, somebody either stole it, but also there's so much creativity that doesn't get recognized. And that's one aspect that I appreciate of what you're doing, but also the youth, man, the youth need it. They need it. Let's talk about the Radical Self-Care Challenge, which you kind of touched on that a little bit, but touch on that. And is that open to everyone, or is that just for educators, for kids?
I know, it's so touchy. Like, my heart is for educators first, because that's who I am. But it's for everybody, of course. I can't, push people. I can't be what is that called?
Selective.
Yeah, I can't be selective. That's rude. Like, everybody can join. But the purpose of Radical Self-Care really came from my own journey, to be honest. Like, this quarantine has really awakened me, like, for real, and really encouraged me to tap into self and be able to work out, first of all. Like, let's be real. I wasn't trying to gain weight while I'm at home, trying to lose weight so I can look better when the world opens up. So, like, that was crucial to me. Shout out to my trainer, Matt. He's dope. He also partnered with me on the Radical Self-Care, because I don't know fitness for real. He knows it. So I was like, dude, Black men, let's work together. So that's how the fitness part has been formulated. The mind part is more so focusing on journaling, focusing on goal setting, because a lot of the time we're running. I have 3 kids. A lot of my friends have kids, and you're ripping and running, trying to do everything. And we're not setting goals. We're not looking at the next step. Like we can't lead our children to create generational wealth if we're just out here, just living day by day. Like we have to be strategic. And so having our minds right is important as mothers and as fathers, so that our children can be able to replicate that and just be a better version of us. And then the soul part has really been about, like I said, journaling, but also I added a book to it this time that I just started reading. It's called Sisters of the Yam, by my favorite author and activist and womanist and just Black woman in general, Bell Hooks. And I think even Black men should join, because
I agree.
Black men need to also read about Black women, because Black women, not going back, but starting the conversation about Breonna Taylor, to be really serious, Black women need to be protected at all costs. And Black women cannot be protected if you don't know about us on like a deeper level and be able to connect with us on a deeper level. And so the book, Sisters of the Yam, really talks about self-recovery, because Black women, in addition to men, go through a lot of trauma where trauma has been passed on from generation to generation. So not to get too deep, because I'm also an historian, it is important that we really focus on self-recovery of Black women, because we're going to lead the movement. I mean, we birth the next generation. So they come from us. So we have to be able to be strong and recover from things that we've been through so that we can pour into the next generation. And Black men need to be able to help us do such things. Or allies, shout out to my white friends, y'all are dope as well, need to be able to do that. And so radical self-care is really about, let's get real down to the work of moving the Black community. And it starts with self. And so that's my passion, clearly, because you can see I'm like really into it right now. That's my passion for real.
It's amazing. And shout out to our sister, Deidre Bryant. She said, and you look good to
Hey.
what you do. Definitely with the workouts. Got the Billy Blanks going on. Got the Nipsey Hussle playing in the background. Billy Blanks did a workout tape. It's old school. You may not remember that. But anyway, you're doing your thing, and it's important. As we talk about, Black women and how, unfortunately, they're not being fully supported, which is heartbreaking and horrible. But us as Black men, we definitely have to do our part, and it's a partnership. And yes, you guys are birthing everyone. Obviously.
Literally, I mean
literally, you're birthing the movement, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keon Crawford. Proud of you, Supermom. He joined.
Oh, that's love.
On YouTube. Hey, YouTube is booming right now. So glad
to. Shout out to my friends. I'm sweating, yo. Like it's hot.
Probably the light above you.
Right? But I was trying to give like the whole YouTube influencer vibe. Like you have to have a light. Like the light has to be on. You can't be dark. Like you gotta have a light. It has to be a glow. It has to be.
You're right about that. The glow is real. You're right. So where can people sign up for the Radical Self-Care? Is that through the websites?
Yes, it is through the website. And those who know me know that I'm on the ground level. Like, don't be expecting too much fancy over here on Kamilyah's life. Like, we're still on the ground level. We're making progress. Like, shout out to my business partner who helps me with all of the merchandise. Like, she's really dope. Lakeisha Richards. But more so, like the website is my platform to have things purchased and register for Radical Self-Care. You do get a book. So like, let's do this, yo. Like, let's really come together and make change on a real level. Like, we can't do too much about Trump and Biden. We can vote. We all voted, right? Vote. But besides that, like, our community in the ground level needs to be impacted, because it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden. Can't nobody save us but us. So we have to be able to take care of self. So that is on the website. In addition, you can always DM me. Most of the people on here are my friends in real life. So shout out to my friends that join. Call me, girl, homie, bro. Text me. Let's get this popping, and let's make Let's make a change, like for real. Let's stop talking about it and be about it.
Yes, yes, yes. The link is in the description. Also, I know we're kind
Thanks,
of running.
Lauren, for the comment. This was honestly like he had to pull teeth to get me to show up on a
Oh,
video.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not actually going to invest in anything because I don't actually plan to do this. But thanks for the
Hey,
suggestion.
it's a good idea. It's a good idea. If you
It
get
is.
called to go on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, you can say I'm not going. If you get called to go on a YouTube channel, you got to go on there because it's going
I'll
to give you
just
some.
hop on you. I'll hop on Amazon and do the Prime, and then second day it, or the 2-day free shipping.
Right.
We'll do that.
Ring lights are beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. The
Yes.
merchandise is beautiful and high quality, says Tanya. And I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna go
Oh,
to the website so I can show the merch so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. But it was great and wonderful having you on. Obviously, being able to have my sister on is a wonderful thing, and being able to talk to you about what you do and what your passions are. The door is always open for you to come on. Anything you want to talk about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
as a visitor, got it.
as a visitor, yes.
Not a podcast owner. Yes, I'll be a visitor.
Anything else you want to share before I share the screen and get to the merch?
I just want to say thank you, all jokes aside, for you pushing me beyond my comfort zone. Mommy and Daddy already said that I got to be on their show, so I'm like, okay, like let's take
This
it
is a warm up.
one step at a time. But I do appreciate it because at the end of the day, like I really do want to get out a message that is bigger than me, and sometimes you have to talk about it and not just live it. So I want to talk about it too. And also special thanks to all my friends who responded to the text and was like, let me hop on and support sis. I appreciate it. And those who are watching it after the fact, because life is real. Thank you for watching it after the fact. And hopefully you will continue to connect with Awaken Our Youth because we're about to blow up like 5 years. It's about to be real.
Let's go. I'm all in. Free shipping code BS3 Radio. You can see that at the bottom. We're gonna take a look at some of the merch. If you gotta run, you can go ahead and go. Or if you got a few more minutes, I can show you some.
We're here. Oh,
Right,
you're talking about me or them? Oh yeah, I'm here. We're ready.
All right, let's go. We're about to this is like my second time doing this, but we about to
you got it. You set up this whole thing.
Like, we're about to share this.
Sharing the screen is nothing.
Bam. We about to go. I already got the website right here. Look at that. God, that's good.
Yes, he is.
All the time. Twice on Thursdays.
Ooh.
There it is right there. If you guys can see that is Prince with the Awaken Our Youth Primary Genius shirt right there. This I'm gonna scroll down. You kind of talk about each one. You give us a little.
Yeah. So again, I'm new to this. I'm an educator at the end of the day. Like everything else is just kind of I'm learning as I go. So bear with me as I work through the website kinks. But first, shout out to James Vincent, my best friend's husband, is a graphic designer, and he got the format together. So, I'm not by myself. Like I have a lot of people that ride for me and support me. So I have to give credit where credit's due. So James Vincent, definitely hit him up if you need graphic design. And I Spellman's sister, I can't think of her name and I feel really bad, came up with my logo. So shout out to everyone that's been riding for Kamilyah. I appreciate it. And Awaken Our Youth and supporting the vision. So the homepage has all of the learner profiles. My goal is to come up with workbooks for each of those learner profiles. It has not been done yet, but it will before, 2022 or something like that. Yes. The first genius is primary genius. That is the babies. That is my crew. They're all primary geniuses because they're very much all about nature and curiosity and questioning everything, which is a genius thing to do. Going down goes through all of the other ones, which is comical genius. Those are your funny, silly kids in the class who have wit, the little Steve Harveys of the world. The next one is competitive genius. Those are your athletes, the ones that always want to play Kahoot, which is like a competitive game in class, who wants to always be a part of the quiz bowl. Like they're really into just competitive opportunities to show their understanding and their mastery. The next one is reserve genius. Those are my shy girls and boys that don't always talk a lot, but they love to do things on their own. They love to write, they love to read, but they don't have to be just the main one talking in class. Next. The opinionated genius is me. I'm the opinionated genius. Let's be clear. But they're the ones that are just outspoken. They're on the debate team. They have an opinion about everything. And we often look at them like, okay, please stop talking. Like, we get it. But that is genius. Like, being able to formulate an opinion, to be able to argue your thoughts critically is genius. And it's what has caused Barack Obama and others to be who they are. So that is a very important genius personality.
Yep. Now let's scroll back up while we're doing that. Opinionated genius, that's my daughter. She will argue a point to the end. She's going to be a lawyer. She is going to be somebody that's going to convince people to do stuff that they don't want to do. Yeah. If I wasn't doing this right now, we would be probably having a debate about something.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next. This is one of the shirts we kind of discussed, the Young Black Genius. If you want to touch on that one, let me zoom in while we're talking.
So
the names that we talked about.
Yeah, so all of them are people that you can look up, but they're essentially just Black young geniuses in the world, and there's many other. But those are some that I've connected to, and ones that just provide a little diversity into just the industries that they're in. But going back, the website is pretty much organized by T-shirt, hoodie, or
this one
that was also a middle of the night idea. Like, and it mainly came from Beyonce, Black is King. I love that movie, that video representation of the album, The Gift, which was my classroom theme, of course. Yes. So Black is Genius just takes the stigma away from Black being dark and ugly and all of the things that are negative. And then it also puts a spin on kind of Black is King, because I have to be representing men and women. So Black is Genius. That's that.
Now the hoodies, are the hoodies.
Go ahead.
On here. Is it on?
Yeah,
outerwear?
If you go back.
All right.
Yes, outerwear. I changed it because I do have sweatshirts, so I didn't want to be.
Go. Yeah. Let's go. I'm getting this hoodie right here. I love this. With the front and then the back, it's beautiful. Thanks. Let's go to this one. I think you released this week. Is that right? Or last week?
Yeah, this one is very special to me. Actually, as soon as I thought of it, I text my business partner, like, I need you to make 5 of these like now. Like, and she was like, I got you. Because like this one is very important, and I'm trying to get her to like rush order it because I really need this in my life. So yeah, people have been buying it, which is really cool. The question I keep getting is, does it have to be your skin tone? And the answer is no. Like, let it be what you want it to be. If you want it to be the espresso, really, really rich, dark brown, then great. If you want it to be the honey or the lighter color, then great. It's just really about what you want. But that's very important.
It is. And shout out to the Spell House edition. I love this collection. My question is, does it come with the shoes, or is that just a...
It does not for $25.
I was like, man, that's a nice discount right there.
I know, that would be nice little packaging. Actually, that's an idea that may happen like 20 years from now, but I think it is cool to package like apparel together. But this one came up because we didn't have homecoming, and I was like, how can I show my love for Spell House? Because we can't all be together.
Right. Definitely. Now, up here, as you can see, Radical Self-Care Challenge, where you can click, and it has the link right here. And it's very important. Self-care is very important. And I think a lot of us, I would say me, I think I do take that for granted. And I just think about work and I think about doing everything else, but you don't think about that aspect. And it's extremely important.
And my definition of, that's the book, shout out to Bell Hooks. The definition of radical self-care is self-preservation as an act of resistance. Like, that's where we are. We have to preserve ourselves first so that we can be able to resist the dominant culture. And so that's kind of where I am with it. My radical self-care shirts and hoodies have that definition. And it's also a challenge because, like you said, it's hard. Like, everybody just wants to go to sleep when they get home and watch TV and not do other things. So I get it, but we have to challenge ourselves to want more for ourselves outside of just the day-to-day. So It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it.
It's important. It's important. All right, let's go back. We are going to go back to our screen here. Man, a lot of great merchandise, a lot of great merch. Come on website, says Lauren.
Yay!
I'm loving the comments. I'm loving the comments.
I know, my friends are so cute.
You are my friend, Patty LaBelle voice. I like that. I like that. Black is Genius is my fave. There's so many on there. Those of you that are watching, the link is in the description. It's also in the comments, so you can definitely find it there. But this has been awesome. It's been awesome having you on. And I love what you're doing. And my whole thing is let's find a way to push this to the masses. So hopefully, I believe a lot of people have tuned in and watched. So it's a beautiful thing.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank God. All the things.
All of it. Leave us with one quote. Leave us with a quote or a comment or something that you want to leave the viewers and listeners with.
I'm really just loving this book right now. One thing that she said that really just kind of shifted me is dominant culture, white supremacy, to get real radical for a second, doesn't want us to be well. Like, just think about that for a second. They don't want us to be well. And so the biggest thing for me, like outside of just radical self-care, Awaken Our Youth, like Kamilyah as a person, is to make sure that I am well. And so whether you decide to join the challenge, whether you decide to just live your daily life, as long as you're living for the sake of wellness, like that's what I want to pour into all the viewers. Like, live for the sake of wellness, because they don't want us to be well. Other Black people don't want us to be well. We really want to be real. But I want you, because you took time to watch and took time to listen, I want you to be well. So definitely take care of yourself.
True. And you said this earlier, like our kids and our family and people around us can't be well if we're not well. If we're not taking care of ourselves, then it's going to rub off on people around us.
Yeah.
And that's very, very impactful. Sonia Shepard just jumped in. I'm so proud of you.
Girl. That's my colleague. APS. Shout out to APS. Atlanta Public School. Sorry for those who are not in Atlanta.
Those that are not in Atlanta.
They are working hard. Shout out to all my teachers again. I can't say it enough. Like, y'all are killing it, kind of. Like, you're trying to kill it. But there's so much going on. So just shout out to y'all for just persevering and taking it day by day.
Yes. Oh, a couple more comments. I'm probably not going to put that one up there. We
can still see it.
Yes, okay. Be
well. A Christian show. Thank you.
It's okay. I know him. He's good people. The show's funny.
Okay, cool.
Shout out to my beautiful wife. So proud of you, Cam. Keep shining.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to Erica too. She is doing it with her podcast. The whole family is lit. Like, we're just a lit family. So
everybody is doing something. My parents' podcast, they're supposed to do a live show tomorrow. So I'll probably be getting with them. We'll see how that goes. They're super excited.
Yeah.
And I'm working on some other people to do a podcast too, specifically my two sisters, because I know y'all can talk about some stuff. Like, y'all Y'all don't need to be on video. All you need to do is hit that record button. And y'all know y'all can talk for hours and days, and y'all have to chop it up. And
We
cut
could
it up.
do one together, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That would be cute.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, moving on.
But all right, it's been great. I love you dearly, and I thank you
too.
decided to come on, and it was a great conversation. Awaken Our Youth. This is Kamilyah Sudderth, and Awaken Our Youth. The website's right there. Like I said, Awaken Our Youth .square.site has all the info on there. Also on shout out to social media handles. I know you're on Instagram, Awaken Our Youth. Also, you're on you just did the Facebook, so like the Facebook page. Let's blow that up, Awaken Our Youth. I'll put that in the comments as well. And so that you guys can find that. And it's been beautiful. So thank you. Have a beautiful night. Shout out to the crew.
They are probably ready to go to sleep, but they can wait.
They're probably happy though. They got an extra 16 minutes. So
yes, they got some extra shows in. They are like really big on their shows at night. So they're probably like, yes. But yeah.
All right. Well, I love you. Have a good night.
Love you too. You too. We'll talk soon. Thank y'all.